I know I'm late to this, but let me tell you, it's for good reason. I'm working on a banger that'll be coming out in the following days that had more priority than this drama, but now I got time. Today, I got time. At this point, the majority of you have already seen videos such as these from your favorite creators, or even live streams going over a lot of the allegations, and you are more than likely just looking at other videos for the sake of dogpiling on this guy. And let me tell you, this time, it's not just okay to dogpile on this individual, it's pretty much encouraged, and let me tell you why.
This is why you're gay. This is why you're gay.
Some of you may have heard of this, some of you may not have. I have this tendency to think that a lot of people actually know about these situations, but I realize day by day that this is actually not the case, just because of how many of you are new to internet drama slop post 2019, or are just now reaching cognitive consciousness, or just want to learn about new stuff you didn't know about to feel caught up to the drama. Well, dear viewers, I want to welcome you into this realm of entertainment and tell you, don't worry, I'm brain rotten and terminally online too, so we are in this together. So let me start with the Slazo situation, a drama that for the most part is so incredibly pivotal in the direction of this drama, a situation so poorly mishandled with a victim so misrepresented he had to abandon the internet and his very successful YouTube channel to tend to his mental health following a very messy attempt to destroy his reputation. At the forefront, one of the main commentary channels who so poorly misrepresented Slazo not just as a creator but as a person would be ImAllexx, outright claiming and insinuating terrible things about Slazo off of accusations that him and a few others on the scene would not hold up to scrutiny, but rather jump on and make their conclusions.
As soon as Slazo's ex-girlfriend tweeted out these accusations, Alex immediately tweeted out this. It's incredibly brave to speak out about your experience. I hope he doesn't get to continue doing this to other impressionable people. Those messages make me feel ill. People go back to abusers. I don't think the idea of that is far-fetched, honestly. All I've seen is him admit to what was put in the screenshots. Sorry that this is being dragged out, Shay.
This entire situation, by all accounts, is now a staple in the commentary scene here on YouTube, along with situations such as the Quiet allegations and more recently the Dream allegations that serve as figurative integrity horror stories that warn about the dangers of being irresponsible with information and jumping to conclusions. Coverage from ImAllexx and various other individuals on the scene, such as Weast, left such a bad taste in the community that everyone within and outside it collectively came together to absolutely kneel on him, outright calling him a leech, a snake, a backstabber, and more importantly, a liar.
But we do care, Alex. I promise you, we do. It's kind of obnoxious, the amount of bull that spews out of your mouth. You'd think you'd learn.
Surprise, surprise, we are back talking about ImAllexx, the snake, the betrayer, aka Littlefinger. And for people who were concerned last time, don't worry, I don't think he's as smart as Littlefinger. I just think he betrays his friends a lot.
He's not friends with Clown. He's not friends with Zaptai. He's not friends with the Hot Wet Soup. He's not friends with Chubbs. He's not friends with Pyro. So this is why I say he's the biggest leech in the community, and he sucks off everyone bigger than him.
Most people haven't forgiven Alex for everything, due to a pattern of behavior he seems to have of backstabbing his friends and lying about them.
It was pretty evident that by that point in time, ImAllexx was already on the slippery slope down to being hated by the community. But after the Slazo situation, that was the absolute. Nobody trusted him, everybody wanted a piece of him so they could take shots after shots at him, and some even wished for his downfall, which leads us to current day.
This is why you're gay. This is why you're gay.
I have to say, first and foremost, that these are allegations, and despite the fact that Alex is not a very credible source of information, and he is very much disliked, we must still hold up this information to scrutiny and look at it without jumping to conclusions, regardless of his inability to do so in the past, which is the main thing I have to reinforce here. Everything else is fair game in my opinion. That being said, everything else here will just be my opinion with supporting evidence. So here is where we begin, a quick summary. For the most part, these allegations were presented in an 82-page document that alleges and details the history of Alex being very clingy, narcissistic,
and you think you can just fucking ignore them because like, well, what's the worst that can happen? I don't know. Your boyfriend's a fucking famous internet celebrity and doesn't trust these people because he has to keep his circle small. Because you might not have anything to fucking lose because your life might be down the fucking drain, but I still have quite a lot that I would like to fucking give. You're making it incredibly fucking hard for me. just like Lewis did.
Yeah.
I fucking hate all of you. You guys are fucking like I can't make any videos with Paul Breach.
verbally abusive.
Really need a fucking fix.
I'm gonna fucking bash your fucking head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the fuck up. Because this one, genuinely, this one, you fucked this, royally fucked this.
Physically abusive, although we don't have a lot of supporting evidence for that, and even potentially may be a risk to animals, which I find to be even more despicable based on the context of the situation. These allegations first surfaced on Twitter, although there have been some allusions to it in the past couple of months, maybe even a year or so, but I'm not gonna really touch that until later, so for now I'm just gonna show you the tweet in question. Here's my statement on the situation I've been scared to speak out on. It's best it was made public how horrible this person with the platform is. I'd hate to see another woman go through this. Please read the statement first before continuing. I have to encourage all of you to either check out this video or go through the document yourself so you can better inform yourself, as personally I do not have the heart to talk too much on her experiences, alleged or not. Information like this needs to be handled with extreme care, and based on what I've read and seen, there's a lot of things in here that make me feel extreme sympathy towards Alice, the victim, which may make me a little biased. So, to continue my summary, I will read one of the first statements Alice made in her document. We started officially dating on March 17th, 2023, giving each other 100% of our attention, time, and effort with no arguments. After that, time passed and small things became huge issues, which were over Discord at first. Alex felt that because I am home all day and work from home, that I would be able to call 24/7 and completely shut out any other social interactions I have with my friends. To avoid that, I invited him into my groups and stopped working as much. These small arguments worsened to the point where he would turn on his camera and start shouting at me on call. He's gone as far as to tell me to self-harm at this point after I told him about my history prior. This would be accompanied with multiple horrible messages calling me a whore, a bitch, and slimy. He would also tell me that I caused arguments as an excuse for me to leave him, saying, "I don't know how I ended up with someone like you." The thing with this first statement is that it really sets the idea of what type of person Alex is, especially when cross-referenced with the screenshots and videos she provided. We see plenty of messages with him being extremely clingy, being verbally abusive, making threats, guilt-tripping, gaslighting, and overall just being a foul person to even be remotely near to. And I say that quite literally in the sense of remote, because goddamn, even over messages, Discord, and maybe other means of communication, he just appears to be an incredibly toxic and insecure individual. The thing about this entire situation is that as much as I want to be unbiased and give critical thought and just look through everything, just hold this up to scrutiny, potentially see any flaws, any holes of there potentially being a false accusation, as we've seen time and time again on the internet, she just provides way too much evidence. And all of this seems like very textbook abuse, from making threats, from verbal abuse, from actually threatening animals, to even destruction of private property. This entire document, pretty much from beginning to end, showcases that Alex is definitely an individual that people should be wary of. I have to say that there are multiple sides to every story. There are so many angles at which stories can be looked at and picked apart. However, I also have to say that when it comes to situations like these, there are always going to be people that are going to ask the question and beckon, hey, what could she have done to possibly cause this? What could she have done to incite this sort of reaction from this individual? And what I have to say is that regardless of that being the case, what Alex has done and what Alex has been shown to do is inexcusable. If what she's saying is 100% true, then this means that Alex has not just threatened her and made her life miserable, but he has also threatened her cat as well. Post video making note, but I'm having a hard time telling what exactly is meant by this. I'm not sure if he was the one who threatened the cat or if somebody else threatened the cat and he's just referencing to it in this context, but I'm not so sure exactly, and anyone who's willing to contest me on this, you are more than welcome so that you can correct me. Thank you. Which to me, bringing an innocent creature with no knowledge of critical ideas such as right and wrong makes him 10 times worse. It's one thing to behave terribly to an individual who is capable of rational thought and even fighting back. It's another thing entirely to bring in a creature that can't, torment it, and then use that against that individual for the sake of manipulation. Not just that, but he allegedly had also hurt her at some point and destroyed her computer setup worth upwards of $4,000, presumably in a fit of rage or desperation after she had left to remove herself from the situation where he was allegedly being aggressive towards her. At some point, they had also broken up, separated, only for her to be bombarded with what I'd call obsessive communication attempts through several platforms and mediums, including alternative accounts on alternative accounts, handwritten letters, and even Amazon of all fucking things. Look, this is genuinely mental, as the British would like to say. It's textbook abuse as far as most people observing the situation are concerned, including myself, and that's if it's 100% true. That's just my 2 cents. I mean, I'm more inclined to believe her than anyone, and even on the incredibly off chance a lot of this isn't true or if it's heavily embellished, nobody is willing to give him the charitability or benefit of the doubt, and even if they are doing so begrudgingly. There's genuinely so much information at hand that everyone needs to read for themselves because this is something that's kind of few and far between. I have never seen the drama landscape collectively come together to genuinely wish the worst possible outcome on an individual like this, and honestly, it's kind of deserved. There's just so much overwhelming evidence of him on footage and audio corroborating and supporting her claims. And also, based on video footage, despite what Alex portrays on the internet, he is far from the goody two-shoes he paints a picture of, the literal antithesis of the character he built on the platform here.
This is why you're gone when you mess with us.
As I mentioned, even on the unlikelihood that Alex, for whatever reason, is innocent, there is an intensely brutal irony here in the fact that nobody is backing him. Even his friends have completely disavowed and denounced him. Everyone from back in the Slazo drama has completely 180'd and started turning their noses up at him the same way they did to Slazo back in 2019. And just to add to that, while he in the past did not give any charitability to Slazo or anyone else he has talked about for that matter,
This is the problem with shit like this that drives me up the wall. When somebody gets done for something because it's been clipped and they go, it's crazy that people just make stuff up. Nobody made anything up, bro. It's there. It's in video format. If somebody said, I heard her say this in a bar, I've got no proof, then you could come on here and go, ridiculous what people say for clout. But when it's a clip from your live stream, you can't do that, can you, lads?
while he himself has not given any charitability, there are still people out here willing to wait for his side of the story for the sake of maintaining integrity, which is incredibly commendable. I personally had an incredibly hard time making this video because I found it difficult to look at these allegations and not immediately conclude that he was definitely guilty. But regardless of the fact, it's not up to me to tell you all what you should believe. It's up to you guys to look into this information and make your own conclusions outside of the echo that is my presentation here, because I'm gonna have bias, and what I want people to have is not have bias. If anything, my personal conclusion to this is exactly what Nicholas Diorio had to say. ImAllexx is innocent, gets falsely accused, channel irreparably damaged, and he's forced to dig himself out. And then, in the other hand, ImAllexx is guilty, channel irreparably damaged, and he can't dig himself out. I'm good with either, to be honest. Karma's a bitch. At the end of the day, regardless of what you want to believe or who you want to support, the biggest conclusion here is that what goes around comes around.
This is why you're